Hi, welcome to a new reading vlog. It is Monday night. Today was chaos. I mentioned at the end of my last vlog that I would start this vlog after surgery. I did not have surgery today. I went to the hospital bright and early, ready to go. And they said, well, we've just had an emergency come in that's going to need a 6-hour surgery. So you're gonna have a long wait. You can go home and come back, which I did. Now when I got back, they said we're still in surgery. By that point it had been like 8 hours, and they were still in surgery with this emergency case. Apparently they were doing microsurgery and it was very complicated, and it just all taken a lot longer than they planned, and they were cancelling a bunch of surgery, not just mine, but they could basically cancel the rest of the day. I think they might have fit a few more people in, but I was not next on the list either. I was like 5 down the list after that. So I got sent home with the plan to rebook, and they're gonna let me know when I'm rebooked. On top of that, then one of the other surgery rooms, which I'm with the plastics team, the cardiac team were also running surgeries that day, and they had someone on the table ready to go, knocked out, to do some kind of heart surgery, and then had a life or death case come in and had to wheel this patient out back to recovery, wake them back up while they dealt with the life or death case. So it's very chaotic in the surgery unit today, but I went around for a while, both at home and at the hospital. I finished a book. I finished Cherry Eve Brown while I was there. And I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. I think it was my least favorite of the 3 Brown sister novels, but they're all really, really good. I think I just found the pacing of the romance not quite as to my taste, I guess, in this one. Though there are things I like I really appreciate a romance where everyone's earnestly involved, which I think Talia Hibbert does really well. Like wholehearted, earnest involvement in a romance. Like her books all have a 3rd act breakup, but it's very like brief, and like you can tell it's because both parties want it so badly, but they have trauma and they just don't know how to communicate their want, and they miscommunicate and they don't feel like they're understood, and they have to kind of communicate that through, and there's always some quirk of a moment where the communication doesn't quite happen, and so it feels natural. This one, to me though, the relationship between the 2 main characters probably felt the most insta-lovey of all of this series from Talia Hibbert. Like they just clicked really well pretty instantly, but it felt like a proper clicking connection, so it didn't feel like they were loving each other out of nowhere. I could totally understand where it was developed from, but it happened very quickly, and there wasn't that kind of like... What I loved about Dani Brown the most, and why I think Dani Brown is my favourite of the 3 books in the series, is that Dani and Zaf didn't like each other at first. Like they were attracted to each other, but they didn't genuinely like care for each other at first. That grew, whereas like Eve and Jacob, you can tell, are very earnest and care for each other pretty quickly. Like Eve's very like blasé, go with the flow. I mean, not go with the flow, but like she doesn't let anyone get to her. And Jacob's very thorny, but it's clear from like straight away they're really into each other and really appreciate each other, even when they're like, oh well, we just don't like people. Like Jacob's all icy, like nobody can impress me. So, like she meets every criteria of someone who can't impress me, but still is really into her, really appreciates her, and earnestly cares about her. So it never felt like that kind of like, will they, there was never like a will they won't they. even though it's a romance, so it's never gonna happen. But yeah, I think they kind of ran headfirst into things a little bit more than I personally appreciate.
Well, she can finish filming it now.
Meet a righty boy.
Yeah, me get out, please.
Come on, miss.
Out. Come on, out. Shut the door for me.
Look at their booties. Put them up. Oh. Say hi. What are you doing, boys? Get in the camera shot. You're too long. You're schlonky.
He's fat.
Are you fat? Are you fat?
Come on, bedtime.
Good night. Make them kiss like they're the unicorn. Like they're the unicorns in
Now kiss.
in Entangled. They're like ding. So the like, yeah, it was good. I appreciated it. I really enjoyed it. Loved it even. Just probably not my favorite of the three. If you're wondering, it is an autistic relationship, and kind of goes on to imply that Danny and Chloe would also likely be on the spectrum as well, which makes sense. But Eve doesn't seek formal diagnosis, but Jacob is formally diagnosed. And I think, obviously, its own voices, I'm pretty sure, but it was handled really well, and I really enjoyed all of those components. My battery is dying, but then we had I basically had like 3 because I was so late getting out of surgery, or cancelled surgery, and I'd fasted all day. I went and like gorged myself on KFC, and then had some toast when I got home because I was still hungry, and then we had a late Japanese dinner. I didn't eat much of that. I put a lot of it in the fridge for tomorrow, but. And then I've been editing and playing Mario Party, and I was going to try and pick up some of the Archive of the Forgotten, which is the other thing I'm currently reading. But I haven't picked any of it up, and I'm tired, so I'm going to go to sleep. So we'll work on that tomorrow. But I also had the project finally arrive in the mail today. If you've been following my vlogs, you know it's been a saga waiting for this to arrive. It's taken 8 weeks for this book to get to me. 8 weeks. I don't know if it got lost in the mail. I don't think so, because 2 different packages from that same place arrived at the same time in 2 separate packages. So I didn't think it was lost mail. I think it just literally was that slow, but whatever. So I'm going to try and get through this and also the project and also the 2 audiobooks I'm kind of listening to in the next 2 days, but the surgery will be rebooked somewhere in there probably. I'll probably be having surgery Wednesday, so I don't know, but we'll try. We will try. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. Talk to you later. Okay, it is... What time is it? It's Tuesday. It is 7:30 at night. I did housework today, did work, had a few meetings. It was a day. I did finish listening to Wings of Ebony by JL. I need to go fill up that water. Finished listening to Wings of Ebony, and I enjoyed it. I do think it did some really great things, and I think it's such an important story, and a great example of excellence in the black fantasy space, especially for young adults. And I think, oh, I forgot this was running flat. I think it's so good, but it does have a bit of like debut early book in a career vibes, just where things maybe aren't quite as developed and polished plot wise to the full extent of what it could potentially be. But it doesn't mean it's not, it doesn't mean it's bad. It was very good. There were just a few things that were a bit convenient, and or alternatively kind of happened with that all that leading up to it to make it like yes. So it wasn't like a yes, but it wasn't bad at all either. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Like, I think debut vibes is a thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. You've only got places to grow from there. But they were there. Does that make sense? And I do think very few YA debuts, at least, can avoid them. And they tend to be people who had a hard time breaking into the industry and had written a million books already. Are the kinds of people who somehow avoid. I don't even know what I was talking about. I was probably talking shit when my camera ran out of charge. Anyway, it's Wednesday morning now. I'm not getting to the project before the end of the month. And I'm gonna back burn it for now, and it might make its way onto a future TBR, but it's just not gonna get done. But I did get 150 pages through Archive of the Forgotten last night, so I got about 200 pages left, and I think if I focus today, it's doable. I also have about 3 hours of listening left on my audiobook, and again, I think that's doable. So our focus is to do those two. I'm listening to An Unkindness of Ghosts is the audiobook I'm listening to, and I did get through a bit of it last night while making dinner. We'll get through some more today while doing work and stuff, and we're gonna try and finish this as well. I'm really enjoying this, but it comes with a bit of a secondhand embarrassment. There's a plot point going on that it's a train wreck, and I'm watching it happen, and I messaged Paige because I couldn't remember if she'd read it, but I asked, have you read this yet? She was like, yeah, I read it the day it arrived. I was like, of course you did. I was like, this is so hard to read. I'm cringing in like anticipation of the pain because it's just very train wrecky. Things are chaotic and leading places that don't sound good, and I just also, what is this? I gotta fix my hair. But chaos. I can see it happening. I can see where it's leading. I'm concerned. I'll tell you how it goes. Hi, it is Wednesday night. I'm up to tell you once again I did not have surgery. I fasted this morning. I mean, I was allowed to eat breakfast, and then I was fasting from 8, and then at like 11:30 they called me and they're like, we don't know yet, we'll call you at 2. And then there was meant to be a work lunch, and I went. There was a work lunch. I went, but I was like, okay, I'll just hang out to chat. I can't eat. And then at 1 they called me like, you're cancelled, let's try again tomorrow. So I ate after everyone else. I was like, all right, I'm getting a crepe, and I ate. But today I don't think I'm gonna get to An Unkindness of Ghosts. I just don't think. It's now like 8 o'clock, and I'm instead working my physical read, not an audiobook. So I don't think I'm gonna get to An Unkindness of Ghosts. I'm gonna bump it to my April list. It's in progress. It'll get finished, but I'm bumping it. But I'm currently trying to slam through the end of An Unkindness of Ghosts. I've got An Unkindness of Ghosts. That's the other book, The Archive of the Forgotten. I have 100 pages left, and it is almost 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna have to stay up a bit to do it, but it's doable. So that's what I'm frantically working on. But I've been a bit chaotic today, and I figured out for April, so obviously it starts tomorrow. I want to try and read 15 things, 15 physical things. So it doesn't include the ebooks that are part of my Bookopoly TBR, my Bookopoly Deal TBR. I don't know, turn that around so fast. It doesn't include audiobooks, just physical books, because I want to buy a lot of things in May. So I need to get things off my TBR to buy things in May. So here are all the things I want to try and read. I'm just going to do a spine faux pas. Oh, I already have Vicious Spirits over there ready to read tomorrow. We also have Curse of the Divine, Miss Meteor, The Opal Deception, Name of All Things. Those were all in my TBR. They're my Bookopoly TBR, that bit there. Enchantment of Ravens, Rule of Wolves, History of What Comes Next, The Silvered Serpents, The Echo Wife, Beyond the Ruby Veil, The Midnight Library, A Curse of Roses. If you can't tell, this kind of section, other than Silvered Serpents, but like this, even this, are all pretty short. This too, I guess, they're all under 300 pages or right on 300 pages. We also have True Life and The Project. It's a lot. And I'm going to have to read like 200 physical pages a day to get through it. It's 190, but close enough. But that's my goal. Plus, there's also a bunch of ebooks and audiobooks I'm wanting to read, but can I be really ambitious in April? Maybe. There is the Easter break, which might give me a head start. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I finished Archive of the Forgotten. It's now like 10. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as book 1. Which is to say, I think the extra little bit of humor and lightness to set up the world in book 1, which wasn't in book 2. This one was much more, I don't want to say depressing, but it was much darker and deeper, much more soul-searching. It took the edge off my enjoyment. I felt things, but I feel like I enjoyed less. And because I was feeling things, a lot of it was like secondhand train wreck embarrassment. Like I could see where things were, like characters were making bad decisions, but you just had to watch them make bad decisions, and I find that really like distressing to read. Like, it's not fun. I'm getting something from the book, like obviously I care and I'm invested, but it's not fun. So I think if I was to compare book 1 and 2, book 1's like a blazing 5 stars. Book 2 is like a 4.5, but I'm rounding it up to 5 for the sake of Goodreads. Like, I do think it's an amazing book, but I think the series as a whole will be like a top tier series for me, but this book just like hurt me too much to be fun and enjoyable in a 5-star read. Which is ridiculous to say, but anyway, I'm going to go to bed because I'm tired. And I want to get up early again in the morning to eat before I have to start fasting for attempt 3 of surgery. But tomorrow my plan is to hopefully finish An Unkindness of Ghosts, because I have like 2 hours of listening left. I definitely think we can finish it tomorrow. I want to read 200 pages of Vicious Spirits. I keep saying Wicked Spirits, but it's a Wicked Fox. This one's Vicious Spirits, Dokebi Vicious Spirits, by Kat Cho. I want to read the first half of this. I also would love to read, and I think I will probably actually start at the start of the day, like while eating breakfast, with White Sands Volume 1. So there's 3 volumes of White Sand. It is a comic series that Brandon Sanderson put out, and it's part of the Cosmere. There is like a little snippet and then a little story that it's kind of based on novelization in Arcanum Unbounded. I'm going to read that last. I'm going to read each of the 3 graphic novels first, and then read the little novelization part last. So I'm thinking I'm going to try and get that done this weekend. So I'm going to, I think, read volume 1 tomorrow morning before I do anything else, like while I'm eating breakfast. But then this for the rest of the day. Obviously, we'll see if surgery goes ahead or not, how I feel coming home, how much I get read, blah, 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 blah. But we will see. And then I've picked this first, even though it's not on my Bookable Deal TBR, because April's reading it as well, and she had to read it. We're gonna buddy read it. She's gonna read it at the same time, but she's already started hers. She has the audiobook and it's due back like in 10 days, so we needed to read it sooner rather than later. And then my goals for the rest of the week, because it's obviously Easter weekend, so we get days off. So I have Friday, Monday and Tuesday off work, so I have some spare time. And my brain blanking. My plan is, once I finish Vicious Spirits, my next book's going to be Curse of the Divine, which KJ and I are buddy reading. So we're going to read that over the long weekend as well. So I'm hoping by like Sunday I will have finished those 2 books, plus all of White Sand, like all 3, plus World Between Blinks by the end of the week is my plan. The World Between Blinks is the middle grade digital release. But if I'm going to get through all 15 of these books, I have to read 200 pages a day. A physical written word, not digital. So the few digital things I have to read for Bookable Deal, I'm going to try and fit in around everything else. So like read 200 pages during the day, and then when I'm done, stop and read digitally for a bit. So we'll try and do that with The World Between Blinks over the weekend. If I could, because of the Easter weekend, by Sunday, have read both The World Between Blinks and Fireheart Tiger. I kind of read The Intimacy Experiment because it hasn't come out yet. It comes out like Wednesday next week, maybe Tuesday next week. But if I could read both of those 2 by Sunday, that would be amazing. I definitely want to have both done by Tuesday, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna try and read a lot over this long weekend. Yeah, I was originally going to be traveling to Mum and Dad's, but with this surgery all up in the air, I don't think I can. But we will be going instead. I will be going to Jesse's mum's for lunch, probably Easter Sunday. That doesn't mean I can't read that day. I can take a book. We'll see how things go, but I have plans, I have ideas. I have thoughts. But yes, for now I'm gonna go to bed. We're finishing Unkindness of Ghosts tomorrow. We're gonna try and read a volume of White Sand tomorrow. So many plans. Look at me go.
Well, hi. It is Thursday. I did work this morning. Things were going great. I was fasting again because I actually ended up having surgery. I have a thing back on my leg. I feel like there's goals under there which they didn't give me, but I have some spares. It's alright, it's alright. I'm all wrapped up. Oh, sorry, I'll show you. Surgery. I ended up having it. Don't know what it looks like under there, but I made a damn fool of myself because I had a sedative and a local, which meant they knocked me out to give me the local, but then I was kind of awake for most of, or some, if not most of the procedure. Probably not all of it, but some of it. But I was like being woken up through most of it. And once I like came to, obviously was still under sedation to a degree. Like I was still out of it. I can remember it, but like I was a loopy motherfucker. And I was chatting the ear off of the anaesthetist. He was probably like, shut the fuck up, child. Like, shut up. And I felt ridiculous. I was very chatty. But like just my mouth just spewed it. I feel much normal now. I feel very normal now. Before I went into surgery, I did finish the first volume of White Sand, which I was talking about reading this morning. It took me most of the day because I kind of did work, but I did also finish An Unkindness of Ghosts today, which I really, really enjoyed. I gave it 5 stars. The ending was sad, but bittersweet, kind of, which I guess is what had to have been expected, because like you weren't going to get a happy ending from the story. But it was really thought-provoking and interesting. I definitely recommend it. It was really, really good. I also started People Like Her by Ellery Lord, which is a thriller about a family that are like mommy bloggers. The dad's not really into it, but he's kind of supported his wife through it to a degree, but she is like lying about everything. She's all like, I'm super relatable and motherhood is so hard, but in reality she's kind of faking a lot of this stuff for relatability, and she like built the whole thing very intentionally and on purpose. And she's a mummy blogger. I think she's got an Instagram following, like 1 million followers on Instagram or something. And she, yeah, is all like hashtag relatable, but in reality her kids sleep through the night really early and they're all really lovely kids. But she's got a stalker because she's got 1 million followers. So we're seeing how that's playing out, and we see her perspective, the dad's perspective, who's kind of like, oh, why am I doing this? Why is this happening around me? And he was an author that hasn't been able to publish anything since becoming like a parent. And then I think you also feel from the point of view of the stalker, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I have decided maybe over the weekend, over this long Easter weekend, because I have the 5 days not working, I might pick up, I think it's called Spiritfarer, the Switch game. It looks really cute and I really want to play it, so I'm tempted to pick that up and dedicate a couple of hours a day to playing and working on audiobooks. So the goal each day is to read 200 pages of physical read, some digital read, and some audiobook, which, like, I've got to do a lot of resting sitting around with this leg up, so it's pretty feasible in my opinion, but we'll see how we go. I would like to finish that audiobook soon because it's really good so far, really interesting. I finished the first one with White Sand. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. The art style's not my fave, but I do like the intrigue of Brandon Sanderson world, and I think this art style works better in the more vibrant environments than in the washed out sandy environment, and it's kind of got a combo of the two. Like, I feel like I liked it a lot better when we were in the like more vibranty spaces. It's only got 3 volumes. It's the whole series. I'm pretty confident there's no more, so I'm interested to see where volumes 2 and 3 go. I've purchased them, so I'm just gotta read them, and I'll probably read number 2 tomorrow. But for now, it's currently almost 8 p.m. and my goal tonight is to read a bunch. We'll see how much I actually get through, but I'm hoping for like at least 100 pages, aiming for 200, but I think more achievable is 100 of Dokkaebi Vicious Spirits by Kacho, which I'm buddy reading with April. So we'll see how far through. I think 100 totally feasible. It's, yeah, like 2 hours before I go to sleep, easily get 100. We'll aim for like 150, 200, we'll see. But 100 is like my bare minimum, and I'll make it up tomorrow. Yeah. Good morning. It is Friday morning, the start of our Easter long weekend reading mojo. We're willing it into existence. We're manifesting. I've been watching some vlogs this morning. I'm currently watching Riley's vlog from like a week or so ago, because I basically never watch anything new. It's almost always out of my watch later. While I read Vicious Spirits, I'm enjoying it, but I wanted to fill you in on. I should actually pause my Leo out too. Hey. I wanted to chat with you because I have thoughts. I was supposed to drink April. She's not awake yet, I don't think. She's probably having a nap. So I was like, I have thoughts. I'm really enjoying where the plot of this is going. I think that's really interesting. What I'm confused about is this feels like, particularly with some of the emotional beats regarding the romance element, because like these are romances, like romance fantasy, young adult fantasy with a strong romance element.
in regards to the romance, which is between two of the side characters from the first book, I feel like we were watching an anime. I stopped paying attention to the subtitles for 10 minutes because I was scrolling on my phone, and I'm trying to like use context cues to figure out what's going on now. The pacing of the romance is really, really fast, and like the male character is a dokibi, and he's like preternaturally attractive, 500 years old, whatever, like he's old but looks like a teenage boy, has the personality of a teenage boy, and they're kind of like trickster gods, kind of like trickster spirits, but he's very, very, he's meant to be like very attractive, and that's part of his like charms. He's like super charming. Is it that's making everything proceed super fast, or is she just really into him? And like, I feel like the writing hasn't given me enough context to supply why the pace of their romance is going so fast. Because she's also like, I'm not into you, like, I hate you, you are so awful, why am I kissing you? But it's also like kissing him, but it's not, she's also into it, like, she's like, I want to, but like, you're a bitch, like, you're a dick. So it doesn't feel like, it feels not supernatural but way too fast. Like, it doesn't feel like the context has given me enough information for this supernatural element of him to be compelling her to be into him. It just feels like she's into him but also thinks he's a dick. Like, he's attracted to him but he's a dick, which is accurate. But it's going so fast, like, I don't know. Is this because I'm demi? Like, is this a classic Kara the demisexual doesn't get it? Maybe. I don't know, but that's what we're reading. I should do a thumbnail shot. I'm gonna keep reading, keep watching. My plan is to get through 100 pages, then read the next volume of White Sand, and then read 100 pages, and then read the final volume of White Sand, and then read 100 pages, and then be done. And get all that done today. And maybe listen to some audiobook around that. I've got some chores to do, so I listen to some audiobook while I do those chores, and then if I get through all of that and there's still time left in the day, then download that game, Spiritfarer I think it's called, and play some of that while listening to my audiobook. If I get through everything else is the goal. But yeah, I'll update you when I'm a bit further. I'm currently 120 pages in, so we're aiming to get to 200. That's when I'll stop and read some graphic novel. Yesy, yeah. Okay, I am now halfway through this. The plot is picking up. I turn this light off actually. No, the sunlight's beaming in. I'm halfway through now. The plot's picking up. I feel slightly less confused, though still a bit confused, but alas, I guess that's just how it's gonna be. So that's where we're at. I'm going to finish this video. I'm watching, get dressed, brush my teeth, because I've had a bit of a lazy morning. It's like 11, and then I'll do some chores while listening to my audiobook, like clean the kitchen, fold some washing, and then we'll switch over to the next volume of White Sand before jumping back into Vicious Spirits. But we're on track today. It's 2 p.m. I did all my chores. I was listening to people like her while I did my chores. Having fun. I switched back to BookTube while I was eating lunch, and I've also finished volume 2 of White Sand. I liked it better than volume 1. I feel like getting over the world building hurdle made it much better. But it was still like a 4-star. It wasn't anything spectacular, mind-blowing, but it didn't feel info dumpy like the first one did, because it had done the heavy work of the world building in number 1. Also, in the final chapter, so like the final issue, the artist changed, or at least the art style changed quite a bit, and I liked it much better than I liked the original art style, which I found too
liney and harsh, and it kind of rounded into a slightly more softer, cartoonier kind of style. Like, it's not cartoony, but like softer edges, softer lines, less like harsh line based shading, you feel. And hopefully it'll continue with that same art through volume 3, which I think will make me really enjoy volume 3, because I didn't love the original art. It was just okay, like it functioned, but I didn't love it. So hopefully the art will stay with this new style, which I really am enjoying. I'm about to dive back in to Vicious Spirits and read the next 100 pages, and then we'll go back and read volume 3 of White Sand is the plan. Chug chug. Well, I just finished this, so I'm proud of my progress so far today. I ended up giving this a high 3 stars. It's probably like a 3.5, but I'm rounding it down. It was really fun, but I think plot construction wise and character development, it was a bit haphazard and rushed, which is kind of my thought of the first one. Like, it's fun, fast-paced, enjoyable, but the plot just makes leaps and bounds in weird ways, gets a bit stagnant in other places. The character development is very cheesy, but it's fun. I think it does what it sets out to do. It was a good time. I just didn't like love it to pieces or anything. 3 stars. It was good. I'm interested to see what April ends up thinking about it in the long run, because she's only like halfway through and is currently not enjoying it very much, but I'm interested to see. She's also listening to the audiobook, so I'm interested to see how it plays out for her. I also spent a little bit of time playing Spiritfarer, which is, I just bought. I was talking about it the other day, I think, but I just bought it today. And I've played like 40 minutes of it. And I'm going to play a bit more now while listening to my audiobook. I'm not the best at playing while listening, but I'll get better. But I'd like to get halfway through this audiobook. Just like another half hour of listening, I think. So that's what we're aiming for. And then tomorrow my goal is to read 200 or 300 pages of Curse of the Divine, plus probably Fireheart Tiger by Elliot Debordard, and then I could go back to that. So I might do 200 pages, read Fireheart Tiger, go back to it. We'll see how my day plays out, but that's my current plan. Okay, today is readathon, which is JDA Reads 24-hour readathon. I kind of lost track of what day it was gonna be, but it's just starting right now. I'm currently 40 pages into Curse of the Divine, and I'm doing Pomodoro reads, so that was just my reminder that my 5-minute break was over, so I'll jump back in. My plan currently is to get 100 pages through, take a break, get dressed, film. Then for my wrap up in particular, I also have to edit a video today, so I might do that in the same chunk. Then I'll read another 100 pages and then switch over to Fireheart Tiger. I'd also like to play some Spiritfarer today, so I've got things going to fit in. But I should film a video and I should edit a vlog. Last week's vlog, to be precise. But I might do that tomorrow and just leave my haul and my wrap up to edit next week along with this vlog. I might do that. I might do that. So I will film a video today, but I won't edit anything today. But yes, I'm gonna get to 100 pages first, so I should start this next Pomodoro. I forgot exactly what happened at the end of Ink in the Blood, but it's bringing back memories. I remember ending Ink in the Blood like kind of feelings like I wanted to throw the book because the ending kind of left on a cliffhanger. of sorts. Like it resolved, but also left a lot of things up in the air. And I'd forgotten what those things were, but now I'm remembering. And I'm interested to see where this goes. This duology is super atmospheric, I will say that. It's very vibes. Vibes over plot at times. Or at least that's my memory from number one. But one thing I love about this world is that everybody has like a little, I imagine it kind of like a plum bob. Like a Sims plum bob. But depending on its colour and the way it moves indicates your gender. So you can like physically present your gender on a plum bob. And the main character's kind of non-binary. She switches, it more tells what pronouns you want to be referred to as, I guess, because that's kind of how it's phrased in the book. And she switches between she and they. So, though saying that, the narration uses she most of the time, but Celia uses she, they pronouns and flicks between the two. So I'm going to keep an eye out and see if I notice a time when they don't use she pronouns. I'll keep an eye out. So I did just realize that. Hi. It is Easter Sunday. I filmed that video yesterday and put my camera on the charger, my camera battery on the charger, because I'd gone flat, and I completely forgot to update you. But yesterday afternoon I finished People Like Her. Actually no, I started off finishing Fireheart Tiger, or reading all of Fireheart Tiger by Aliette de Bodard, which is one of the short stories that's on my Bookopoly Deal TBR. It was beautiful. I gave it 5 stars. It was absolutely gorgeous, stunning, really well woven short story. So good, so good. So I had a great time with that. It's Vietnamese inspired, really good. I also, and explores themes of colonialism and things. I then finished my audiobook while playing Spiritfarer, and that was People Like Her by Ellery Lord. I really enjoyed this as well, though not like a 5-star level. It was like a 4-star level. It's like psychological thriller, but it's more just feelings of unease, not hardcore. Like the only aggressively violent thing happens right at the end, and it's kind of glossed over. It's a lot more about, so the kind of premise is that the main character Emmy, or one of the main characters, you follow Emmy, her husband Dan, and then a third character. And Emmy is like an Insta mom, and her whole brand is relatability. She's like talking about how hard it is to raise kids, like everything's messy, hasn't lost weight, blah blah blah, like, but it's all manufactured. So she manufactures this life of pregnancy and birth being hard for her, and that's her brand that she then makes a lot of money as like selling ads and stuff for. And then things start to go downhill. A lot of it's stuff that they just get tangled in on their own, like the thriller element doesn't play into a lot of it. There's kind of like 3 or 4 threads that are happening that all kind of build together, but you have this third person that's like kind of watching them, leading to some funnies. But so Dan, the husband, is not really into it. He's like, it's making us some money and letting us, he's a writer but he hasn't published anything in a long time, so he's not really bringing in any income, so it's making them money. So he's like, oh, I guess, but he's really not a fan of the idea of their, and it's not even their whole life, it's like a manufactured version of their life being available online, but that means like photos and videos of their kids and their home and stuff, and he's a bit iffy about it and not a fan. But the mom's just like, we're doing it, this is what we do, this is how we make money, you're not making any money, this is how we do it. And so you're kind of following that. Things happen inevitably, and it's kind of like how they deal with all of that. And a a lot of it's more about the inevitable, like, failures of a manufactured Insta celebrity. So I thought it was interesting. Definitely triggering for infant death, though, like, it's not infant death, but it's told in arguably a very glossed over way. Like, it's not graphic infant death. It's like I personally didn't find it triggering whatsoever. I was kind of like, oh, but that could be really hard for someone. There's talk of miscarriages, though it's not a like key experience for any of the characters. What else? Yeah, a lot about pregnancy and child rearing. So and not in a positive way, but obviously because of all this Insta celebrity stuff, you're really looking at the like shitty parents. Like, they're not good parents, and they're struggling, like they're like picture perfect in reality, and they're faking having trouble. So like the narcissism in the parents is strong. Yeah, so if you find stuff related to babies, pregnancy triggering, and maybe steer clear, because it could be. But I thought it was really interesting and intriguing. There was some graphic stuff, but I do think the way it was told kind of keeps you at a distance, because it's very like storytelling style rather than like in the moment. Does that make sense? So there's a level of distance, but go with it what you will. Like, you've got to protect yourself. So I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was enjoyable is probably not the right term, but fascinating. The ending was probably my least favorite bit. Like, I think it let it down a little bit, but the atmosphere and the heebie-jeebies was good. So 4 stars for that one. I also ended up getting, by the end of the day, to page 311 in Curse of the Divine. I'm going to finish it this morning. So I've got like 120 pages left, 130 pages left. And I'm going to slam through it now. My next audiobook is going to be Grown by Tiffany T. Jackson, which is also a hard-hitting contemporary, thrillery kind of vibe, but YA. My next physical book is going to be Miss Meteor by Taylor Kay Mahia and Anna Marie Muckamore. I'm excited about that. And my next ebook, which I'm hoping to get to today, or at least a part of it, is The World Between Blinks by Amy Kaufman and Ryan Graden. But so first priority, finish this. Then I will probably read a bit of The World Between Blinks, or start the audiobook, and then switch to Miss Meteor. I want to try and get through 200 pages of Miss Meteor today if I can, but we'll see. Minimum 150. 200 is the goal. It's Monday morning. By Monday morning, I mean Monday lunchtime. It's like almost 1 o'clock. I totally forgot to wrap up my vlog last night, but yesterday we had a pretty good Easter. I went with Jessie T's mums. We had a big like roast for afternoon. It was delicious. I played Spiritfarer, but I wasn't really listening to my audiobook because we were watching movies and things. And then when we got home, I did read 100 pages of Miss Meteor, and then we played Jackbox for the rest of the night. So I did get through 100 pages of this. I didn't get to any of The World Between Blanks, which I was kind of talking about, but that was kind of my Sunday, which means I should be wrapping up this vlog, moving into the next vlog. So thank you for watching. I don't really have anything else to add. It's not that interesting. Oh, my lunch is nearly here. And you will see me later with another vlog. I don't know when this vlog's actually going up. I will get it up at some point. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Another video. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. I feel like I actually managed to read and update a decent amount in this vlog. So thank you for coming. Enjoy. Bye.